So hi Sekhar.
Hello.
For those who don't know, this is Sekhar, the Indonesian ambassador for Brisbane, and a huge star for UQ,
Maybe.
arguably,
Maybe.
tentatively.
Well, I kind of agree.
It's nice to have you here. There are a lot of things that I want to go through.
Thank you for having me.
That's okay. I first want to start with Indonesia and India, because as a kid, when I would see like Indonesia in like geographical books or like just ads, Indonesian tourism ads, I sort of felt back then as a kid that there was some resemblance between Indonesia and India, just because of the simple fact that they sound really similar. So is there like growing up when you heard of India, um, what was your thoughts like? Did you feel like maybe there is like some kind of bond there just because we sound really similar?
Actually, no, not at all.
Okay, so just me.
Well, maybe. But when people actually ask me, where are you from, and I told them, okay, guess. And they're like, okay, just give me one word, like one letter, like the first letter of your country
Yeah.
name, and I was like, okay, I. And then they're like, oh, India. What? No, I don't even look like one.
But do you not get that you look like an Indian?
Not not a lot of people, but some people actually do. Like some people actually thought that you actually look like an Indian, and I was like, from where? Like which side do you think?
Not that it's a bad thing.
No, it's not a bad thing. I mean, like I love like Indian girls are like gorgeous, man, but I'm not that gorgeous. So I'm like, and like a lot of Indonesian people actually told me how very Indonesian my face is.
Yes.
Actually.
Yes.
And like and I'm from Indonesia. I'm from this cultural area called Java. So it's from the Java Island because I was born in Yogyakarta. It's one of the cultural
Major cities, yes.
Major and cultural cities in Indonesia, and it's kind of located in the central Java.
Yep.
And I have a typical face of a Javanese girl.
Yeah.
So that's what most of Indonesian people would say. But in terms of like Indians and Indonesia, I don't really grow up with a lot of Indians back home in Indonesia. There's, I think, there might be some of Indians, but I don't really came across a lot too much.
Yeah.
When I lived in Birmingham, UK for a year, I have my best childhood friend was actually Indian.
Oh, okay.
And so that was like my first exposure to Indian.
To Indian culture. Okay.
Yeah, to Indian culture, and she was very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we kind of lost contact now, which is so unfortunate because we don't have Facebook back then. We were just 5 years old.
Yeah.
But after that, I knew that Indians are so nice, like very, very good, like a good people, like a very great person. So I think that's.
We also have something similar in the sense that when you say you look like a typical person from Jakarta, I myself think that I look like the amalgamation of every Indian guy on every sitcom ever. Like if someone was to look at me, if someone was to like
I would guess.
Yeah.
I would guess.
Yeah. If someone went to Craigslist and they were like, typical Indian guy that looks like it vaguely Indian, not anything specific, but just like super Indian, that would be me.
Yeah.
My ad would come up.
Well, cause that was what I thought the first time I met you.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, this guy is legit, obviously Indian. I could tell.
You know, I take that as a huge compliment. I love looking like an Indian.
Right. I mean, I want that too, but I always get that back home.
Yeah.
Oh, I think you're from somewhere in Java, which is right because I was born in Yogyakarta, though I lived the whole life in Jakarta.
Sure. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right? But again, everyone knows, like most of the people could guess that I look literally like a Javanese girl. But when I came here, which was when I got exposed by international people,
Yes.
they actually thought, like some of them actually guessed it's either Indonesian, Malaysian, or Philippines.
Yeah. To be fair, that's a good estimate. You know, like if like out of all the things that people could have guessed, I'd say that's fair.
They actually also guess Indian, but that would be like, but there's like 3 people. Yeah, but anyway.
But speaking of Indian and Indonesian, one of the things that one of our close friends, Wellen, told me is that Indians seem to be a very popular look in Indonesia within Indonesia,
Actually, yes.
which
So
is flattering.
yes,
Yeah.
right? So every time, I don't know for other people, but
Yeah.
for me, every time I came across to someone that Indonesian person
Yeah.
that kinda look like Indian,
Yeah.
they're either so handsome or so pretty.
Yeah.
Like just very in a positive way.
Which is also, I think, which is also the reason why a lot of Indian actors, they're not really actors, but they're like, they're not Indian actors in the sense that they work in Bollywood,
Mhm.
but they're just like actors from India
Yeah.
who are just like, they have this weird niche following in Indonesia,
Mhm.
which is really like, which is something that I wasn't aware of, but it was surprising in a nice way.
Some of them. Well, it's like you can't. I mean, for me, I rarely, not even rarely. I think I never ever actually watch a full length of Bollywood movies. Though it is actually showed on air on my television back
Yeah,
home.
because there is, I think, a channel.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a channel just for Bollywood movies. I have no idea why, but they have one channel.
Hey, because Bollywood is cool, okay?
Bollywood is good. They have like all colorful dresses and
Oh,
like
that's
good
that's why it's
dancing
cool.
and like you know how you move your head while you're dancing. I can't do that
Okay.
literally. But that's so cool. I mean, that's like you have a unique selling point for your own culture, which is so good. And yeah, so I think there's some people actually. My friend love it. My friend love it. I sometimes I give a little sneak peek about it, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's just too much dancing for me. But again, I still love
But
it. I
that's
still love the
again,
culture.
I don't know why it's such a,
It's like K-pop, dude. Basically, it's like
it-
K-pop.
but
It has
okay,
K-pop and it has Bollywood, and it has
but
yeah.
that's the kind of it's kind of like it's kind of a stereotype in the sense that sure there is a lot of dancing in Bollywood, but it's not much. It's not always dancing. But I kind of understand why people associate dancing with Bollywood is because in a normal Hollywood film there is no dancing. So even if we put one dancing, that's way too many for
Oh,
normal
really?
people.
I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
I mean, unless if you're talking about like musicals, like La La Land, there is no
Yeah,
dancing
so
in
I
like.
think the the ones that I saw is musicals, maybe all of it. I don't know. I can't really name like the title or stuff, but
Yeah,
yeah,
but I
most
get
of
it
it.
because like even if we put like one dance, and I'm not saying normally there's just one, normally there are two, three, but even if we put one, I understand why people are like, oh wait, that's weird enough for them to remember and
Oh
associate that
wow.
with the movie. It's like, oh, it's all dancing,
Oh wow.
but it's
That's
not.
that's surprising
Yeah.
because in Indonesia, most of I think almost every people would associate Indian movies like in Bollywood or like any kind of Indian
Yeah,
movies
yeah,
with dancing and
yeah,
with music.
yeah.
And you know like this you know Teletubbies, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, like
definitely.
Teletubbies Hills.
Yes.
You know, and there's
Yes.
like two people dancing.
Yes.
And just kind of like with those heads and those kind of like
Okay,
belly
this
dance.
is you have the idea that you have of Bollywood movies
No,
is
I
like
swear. Because I mean, asking about Indonesia, like how Indonesia perceive Bollywood movie,
yeah.
that is how we see it.
Which is
Which
fair
is
in the
actually,
sense that
yeah.
that is also resonating with the international perception of
Mhm.
Bollywood movies. But now that we have discussed this, I shall spam you with Bollywood movies
Okay.
where there is no dancing, where
Okay.
it's a very good it's a
Okay.
genuine movie.
Mhm.
Maybe there's one dance.
Or maybe the ones that they put it on air
Yes.
in the international
Yes.
scale of movies
Yes.
are those with dancings. That's why we
Yes.
associate them with that.
Fair.
I'm not saying
See,
it's
this is
a
what we
bad
want to
thing.
change. Like, this is the change that the world really needs right now.
This actually has a very good relation with my communications theory because that is what I mean as a communication
Wait,
student.
what's your communications theory?
It's called cultivation theory.
Okay.
So it's what are perceived by people
Yeah.
by watching television.
Okay.
So the media, I mean television as one of a media platform, is trying to make these kind of like stereotype and perception
Yes. Yes.
so that people who actually watch it thinks that way.
Okay.
So that's actually a theory.
Yeah.
There's a theory about it. And you know how television gives like a huge impact in making perceptions.
Yes.
So yeah, I think that's why. So media kind of like shows
Yeah.
just like those kind of stuff
Yeah.
about Indian, and it's not like representing all Indian
Yeah.
Bollywood movies.
It's really
The one that we watched together, there's no dance in that.
Oh, that's not a Bollywood
Yeah.
movie.
Oh,
That's
okay.
that's
But that's Indian.
yeah, but that's a Netflix
Oh.
series. So
Is
for
that
those who
different?
yes, for
Okay.
like the people who are wondering what it was actually Sacred Games, which is a Netflix original that came this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that wasn't a movie at all. That was just it's a series.
Is
So
that a series?
yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Sorry,
like
I
normally,
forgot about that.
even like Indian series, they have surprisingly very little dancing. I'm
Mhm.
not saying there is no dancing because there is,
Mhm.
but it's less. But it's really nice that you bring up the entire media point
Yeah.
to it because that's true. That's kind of what is shown
Yeah.
around, and which is why I really like the idea of this podcast is because when I talk to people like you or people or international students from different countries, the entire podcast works because I am ignorant in the sense that my perception of all the countries whose ambassadors I'm now friends with is flawed. But it's not surprising because when someone else who's not from India gives me their perception of India, it's also flawed. Like most of the international news that goes around about India, I read it, I'm like, okay, but it's not really accurate. Which is why it's fun to do these podcasts because there's a more honest and a more real view that I get of the countries. Which also brings me to the question that how is it for you in another country as an Indonesian, and what perceptions do people have of Indonesia?
Perceptions about Indonesia.
Like, do you get any stereotypes? Do you get
I
any?
got a lot of stereotypes, and yeah. So, you know how we usually, if we meet up with someone
Yeah.
here, let's
Yeah.
say, yeah, let's meet up at 2 at Merlot's. Let's
Yeah.
say like that. Most of Indonesians will come and arrive at 2:30.
Yeah. That's Indonesia, India,
That's,
most of us.
I'm not gonna say other country. I'm gonna say for my own country, that is something that is super normal.
Yeah.
And like 2:30, like 30 minutes late is like still early.
Do you have these things where like you tell your friend, hey, where are you? And the friend's like, yeah, I'm reaching, but they're actually in bed?
Okay, that's what I do actually. But that's different. So I'm not gonna do all of my Indonesian stuffs here. So
Yeah.
the thing is, I work as a communications officer for Australia Indonesian Youth Association.
Yeah.
It's abbreviated as AYA.
Yeah.
And the first time I met with
Sorry, that's really cool. I just wanted to say
Thank
that's
you.
cool.
The first time I met the president,
Yes.
we were like talking via Facebook chat, and we were
Yes.
like, okay, so where do you want to meet? Yeah, let's do it Max Brenner at 4. I think at 4. Just let's say at
Yeah.
4. Max Brenner South Bank at 4. And I was like, yeah, sure, cool. I'll see you tomorrow. And then the next day, I arrived at Max Brenner 5 to 4. 5 minutes to 4, which is early.
Yeah.
Right?
That's 5 minutes,
early.
yeah.
So the president was Australian, and the president was late, like 10 minutes late.
Yeah.
And when he reached, like, he sat in front of me. He
Yeah.
was like, I'm so sorry that I'm late. I thought you were the one who's gonna be late. That's why I'm late 10 minutes. And I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. Why would you think I'm late? Because every time I meet an Indonesian, they're always late. I was like, okay, well, okay. I might have to change that because that is clearly a stereotype. That is obviously a stereotype.
Yeah. But I understand that at least in our case, it is based on some truth, but it's still a stereotype nevertheless.
Yeah, it's a stereotype, and I think it's because of the culture back home as well.
Yeah.
Indonesian is more, I mean, compared to Australia, of
Yeah.
course, Indonesia is more like flexible in a way.
Yeah.
So it's not as strict as, timing, stuff like
Yeah.
that.
So you're a clear exception to you don't come like you to that rule of Indonesians.
Yeah.
But I actually have a theory of why I don't know about Indonesia, but we have a similar thing in India where a good amount of us are always on time, and if it's a business setting or if it's a formal setting, we will be on time. But if it's a casual informal setting, then yes, sure, there are some liberties that we take with time. And my theory with that is that especially in Mumbai where the monsoons are unpredictable, the traffic is unpredictable, the buses and trains
traffic,
are
dude.
unpredictable. It kind of makes sense why a culture would develop of not having extreme punctuality, just because of the entire unpredictability that goes around with reaching a particular place. So I kind of get it why there is a culture of not being on time because not almost nothing is on time.
Yeah. But again, that's in terms of being on time. I mean, that could it has like a lot of factors behind it. Let's say it's not about being on time. Let's say just the personality of Indonesian that don't really put priorities as in like life plans and dreaming like dream big, just like everything is just go with the flow kind of perception. And I'm really not in that stereotype, dude. You know me. I plan a lot, like for my life, in terms of my life, what I want to do, even in like what I want to do in next week, like next month, next year. I plan that stuff, and like sometimes I overthink stuff.
Yeah.
And
Actually,
I think that's what kind of like made me an outlier of Indonesian stereotype.
It's nice that you bring up the planning stuff because there are two other topics that I want to get to, which are very similar to this. One is planning when it comes to social media, which is something I'll come a little later.
Okay.
But the second thing is that yes, you do plan, and it's clear that you are one of the people who does have priorities, right, in the sense that you are someone who's a go-getter and wants to get stuff done instead of just like being sort of careless about it. Which is why you're also a part of the HAS crew, the Humanities and Social Social Sciences crew. I'm so used to saying scientists.
I know, of course.
So you're part of the HAS crew, and you're also doing so much for UQ and for the Brisbane International Student Program. So yeah, like how do you get the inspiration to, because you're doing quite well.
I got my inspiration from my parents actually, because both of them are very, 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 very hard worker.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of background about my parents. They came from a very unfortunate family in terms of economical stuff like money and just educations and stuff. But the thing is that both of my parents they never give up based on their situation.
Yeah.
Like they know that they don't have a lot of money. They know that back then developing countries it's way worse. You should know that, right?
India knows.
Right? It's way worse than even now. Even it's still developing now, but it's now more urban. And like back then, they are because they came from like a very unfortunate family. They don't have a lot of money, but again, they don't want to just suffer from that situation. So that's like how I got my inspiration. Because even now, I can say that I'm like 100 times better. I have like 100 times better life than what they have back then.
And
so
it's kind of it's nice because they worked hard to make sure you get this opportunity.
So why
you're
would
making use of that opportunity.
So why would I want to waste that away? And like everything is easier for me now. Everything's better for me now. So it's like I feel like I need to work harder than them, because then I need to succeed even more than what they have now. But again, I do feel like, because my parents both taught me about hard work and about appreciating others. So, and also about giving back to the community. So I feel that if I'm not doing it right, I can't give back to my community. So I'm just kind of like, I like being active because in a way that I have this end goal that I want to achieve. And that end goal is inspiring others to have their own sense of leadership. And to have a big dream, basically. And I want them to dream big, because why are you too big to dream? You have to have a big dream. I mean, if your dream does not scare you, that means that the dream is not big enough.
I've read this quote.
So I don't know where I read that actually. So anyway, I think that's how I kind of keep up with myself in terms of how I want to be active. And like back home before I came here, I used to kind of like informally teach English in this kind of like, I don't know whether you know madrasa.
Madrasa, yes.
You do know madrasa.
Yeah, it's like it's an Islamic small group of people where you teach, right?
Yep, correct. So we have a lot of them back home. One of them, my mom used to like put funds in it, so that some of the kids can go to school and just buy new clothes and stuff like that. And my mom one day, she asked me, hey, do you want to kind of like just
help out with the
yeah,
teaching.
help
Yeah.
out and like I don't know what you can do, anything. And then I was like, yeah, sure, I can teach English, even
Yeah.
though I want to teach English as in like informal way. I don't want to be like a teacher teaching
Yeah,
English,
yeah.
because I don't have that knowledge. But I don't want to put like grammar, punctuation. No, because they have zero knowledge in English, and how I can actually teach them is by like a fun environment. So there are like small kids, like elementary and also junior high kids, like those kind of like age range.
Yeah.
What I did was I kind of like when every time I went there, I showed them some English music videos, or like reading them English stories.
Quick question: which English music video was the most popular within the kids?
Twinkle Twinkle Little Star.
Oh, okay. I was thinking maybe Beyonce. I don't
No,
know.
no. They're sweet, sweet little kids. My point was about the little madrasa thing.
Yeah.
Is that some of the kids actually came up to me, hey, because they called me Sakar.
Yeah.
And they called me, so Ka, it means like, they called me Ka Sakar. Ka is kind of like how you call older people.
Yes, yeah.
In terms of like a teenager, not like older
So,
as in, because they're kids and they call me Ka. Ka is kind of like a how you call an older person in terms of like a young adult.
Okay,
not
so
really
that's
adult.
not a. So you wouldn't say cut whatever to someone who's 40 or 50.
No.
You would just use that if you have a young adult who's senior to you.
Yeah.
Okay, that's very specific.
Yeah. So it's like, because it's different if you're gonna call like someone over 30.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically they call me Ka, and they kind of like, Ka Sakar, I really want to be like you, like travel the world and just make a lot of friends and have a good education, being able to speak English well. But then, and I was like, oh yeah, sure. I mean, I can see that. I mean, it's so interesting when I'm also excited when I heard about that, because it seems that they have a big dream. I mean, they want to be like me. I'm their inspiration, which is good.
It's a nice
but
feeling.
then they said that, but we don't have the money, so we can't be like you. And I was like, I'm very devastated when they actually told me that, because it's not about the money.
Yeah.
And it's about whether you want to dream or not, whether you want to work hard or not. And that's so sad for me, because I want them to have the same dream as how I have my own dream.
Yeah.
So from that moment, I started to kind of like change my strategies and my approach. I'm more towards like, I really don't care whether I teach English in any kind of way, but I really want teaching English to be kind of like a platform and a medium for them to have their leadership skills, to see like whether they have a dream or not.
Yeah. But it's really inspiring that you say that that you had people who were inspired by what you were doing, and that kind of drives you to do more, and to kind of not let people down, but also make like do something for yourself, so that then you can give back to the community. Because that is something that really keeps me going also. When I want inspiration, it's just there are a lot of people who aren't as fortunate as me to get this opportunity, and that upsets me. But that also it annoys me to a point where I want to change that. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of people are not as fortunate when it comes to India or even Mumbai, and that angers me in a sense that I want to change that. So that I kind of I kind of relate when you say that you have people who you inspire, but you also want to keep that going so you can give back more if you do well enough.
Yeah.
And that's really nice.
Thank you. Because that's kind of like, seeing every time I go back home. I mean, I haven't been back since last summer probably, but every time I'm back home, I always spare my time to visit them at least like once a week, or if I can, maybe more than that. And it's so happy. Like every time I can really remember every single face. Every time I walk through that gate. Because they're located in a very rural area near the train station, which is so busy. And it's just having like a small house. You can imagine how unfortunate that is. And every time I walk into the gate and I can see like their face are all like smiling and like brighten up and like really actually excited to see me, that's what kept me going. Because that's what like I made a promise to myself that one day I will be able to help them.
Yeah.
So, okay, maybe I don't have like, in terms of material right now, I don't have money to actually fund them to actually do it, but at least I can be there.
Or you
and
can
be
create
an inspiration.
opportunities. Yeah, or that, yes.
And like be their inspiration and talk about, like share some stuff that I have so that they can feel like, oh, okay, if she can do it, why can't I?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, that's
for
a
them.
really nice that yes, you are in kind of a favorable situation to have an opportunity, but at the same time you also want to use that opportunity to give other people that opportunity.
So I'm working to that way right
and
now.
that's a very good way to look at it.
Thank you.
Now moving on to something less something more trivial and something far less important than helping people out.
Okay.
Social media.
Dude, it's important. Social media is important in my field.
Okay. Yes.
If you are in my field, that will be way important. You have no idea.
Which
if
is
you
why
have a business later, you don't crawl at me and say, "Hey, Sarkar, help me with social media."
Listen, I'm not gonna have a business.
Well, I don't know.
Okay, well,
you have no idea. Okay.
I won't crawl, okay? Please.
Okay.
Maybe I will.
Okay.
The point is that I wanted to talk about how you plan things. So recently I was talking about uploading. I was talking about your posts, and you mentioned that there's a lot of planning that goes into your social media, which was really. I'm not trying to belittle that. I'm not trying to trivialize that. Even though I don't share the same feelings to social media, but that's on me. It was really nice how much thought you put into it. And I'll explain in the most basic form, and tell me if I'm wrong. Is that basically you try to organize your photos and upload in a way that your feed in general it's a visual treat, in a sense.
I'm gonna call it more into like branding.
Okay.
So, I mean, I don't know whether it actually relates with my background as a communication student, because as a communication student, especially I'm a public relations.
Yeah.
I am thought to have a good branding.
Yeah.
Whatever branding it is. So for example, working with clients. So we have, I mean, as a communication practitioner, especially as a public relations, as a PR, we have to maintain clients' branding. We have to make the client's branding as positive as possible, because that's what they pay us for, basically. So then because of that, and we learn all of these theories, all of this practical stuff, that actually reflects to myself when it comes to my self-branding.
So it's you're putting to use what you've learned, and it's kind of a portfolio, because that's you're showing your skills.
Yeah, so I feel like as a PR, I need to self-brand myself, and I need to make sure, because I have all of these theories about communications, about PR, about branding, all of those kind of things. I kind of put into myself, like for example, put into client, how do I want the public to perceive the client's image?
Yeah.
And now reflecting to myself, how do I want you guys, all of my followers, all of my friends, or even just random people on social media, to see what I am, like to see what kind of person I am. So
but isn't there some layer of superficialness to branding or image? I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
There's always there. Superficialness, or whatever you call it.
I'm just saying there's like some lack of visible honesty if you're trying to put effort into.
I mean, again, talking about branding, as a person, you do know that you have faultness. You have silly times. You have times that you just being you, and you don't want, being you to your closest friends, and you don't want all of the people to know about it, right? So that is how I'm trying to put it into. I'm trying to put all of my positive side and all of the things that I want other people to see me as on my social media. all of the other things that is to me, like to Sakar, as in a way that's
It's way too much sakar for public to
yeah,
read.
yeah.
Yes,
So
fair enough.
if you want to put it that way, I'm just gonna put that on my second account, which is locked. Which
You have a
is
second account?
I have. You have no idea,
No.
right? Right? My second account is
I wish
locked.
I had a second account.
I thought.
Oh,
you
I
did.
thought you wouldn't know.
You do have to. I have a second account, and my second account is locked.
Okay.
It is only followed by 100 person, I think, max.
Okay. Okay.
And those 100 persons are also second accounts of other people, which is second accounts of my friends.
Sorry. One
Okay.
sec. This is I'm just gonna revise.
Okay, so
not just for me, also for the listeners.
okay. So here, I'll just put it in a more.
Okay, let me guess. So basically, you have a second account that has followers, which are second accounts of all of your friends.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but not all of my friends.
Oh.
So just friends that all of it are Indonesian friends
Okay.
because in the second account all of my posts are all Indonesian. So I think
okay.
it's useless if I follow my
Yeah.
closest friends here because you guys have no idea what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But again, so even okay, let's say I have 500 friends.
Okay, that's a lot of friends.
500 friends. I have more than 1,000 followers on Instagram, right? And let's say that 500 of it is my friend.
Yeah.
And 100 from the 500s
Yeah.
are my close friends.
That's a lot of close friends.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that 100 close friends
Yeah.
has their own second accounts.
Are they all also
Which is
social
following
media? Right? Like, are they also?
No, not all of it. But
Okay.
most Indonesians would do that.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so
Oh,
that's
so
another that's
second
another
account
fun
is
fact.
a very common phenomena.
Yeah,
Okay.
back home, yes.
Okay.
It's a common phenomena.
Okay.
And it's a common thing to have a lot. Okay, so here's another irony. Even though you have, okay, for example, now all of those 100 close friends follow my second account because all of those 100 friends also have a second account,
accounts,
right?
Yes.
All of those 100 second accounts follow my second account.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
The irony is, even though I have second account which is locked and
Yes.
only 100 people can
follow.
can
Yes.
see that,
Yes.
can see what I post.
Yes.
Inside that 100 people, do you know how Instagram has this feature about close friends?
Yes.
Do you know that?
No, I have an idea, I guess.
Yeah, the one that is kind of like a star, circle star like that, like a round star.
Maybe. Yeah.
So Instagram
I'm sure
has
the
this,
listeners know. I don't know. It's fine.
Instagram has this feature called close friends.
Okay.
So, oh my god,
Okay.
this is
Okay.
such
No,
an irony.
So even on the second account, you have a close friends list.
Yes.
Ah.
And my close friends are only 12 people.
But these are the close friends.
Yes.
Okay, so let me recap. Basically, you have a main account which has a lot of followers. Good on
Yeah.
you.
Mm-hmm.
You have out of those 1,000 followers, there are 500 who are your friends. Good, I
Yeah,
guess.
thank
That's
you.
amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have a second account which has only 100 people that you allow to follow you.
Mm-hmm.
But those are also second accounts of your close friends,
Mm-hmm.
which is again good on you. 100 is a good number to have as close friends. Kind of want you to write a book about it. I want to read that book.
Yeah.
Okay, but then on that second account, you also have a close friends list.
Yeah.
That is what Instagram allows you, where you have 12 people, which are
Yes.
your close friends in the close friends.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
So, bottom line is.
Sorry, quick question. How do I get on this 12 friends? Is there a form
No.
or?
So, bottom line, all of my followers on my second account are all Indonesian. So please don't worry about that because that's like an Indonesian platform. If
Okay.
I would be happy to put you in those 12 people.
Yeah.
But again, you would have no understanding in what
That's
I
okay.
post.
That's okay. I don't want to get on that 12 close friend amongst close friend list so that I can see your posts. I just want to be on it.
You
because
You
it makes
are
me
on
feel
it.
cool.
Inside my heart, you are.
No, that's not important to me. That close friends list.
Okay, I'm
That's the real
gonna
stuff.
show you later. Okay,
Thank you.
Yeah.
My validation has been
Yeah.
validated.
Yeah. And sometimes I do write in English, so sometimes you might be able to understand the English part.
It's okay. I'm not really bothered about that.
But anyway, yeah. So that's how it works. And believe me or not, it's not only me. So back home, all of these things is
I
a
can't
common thing.
believe that we had a conversation about social media, which I thought was so universal, and then yet again we ended up with something that is so Indonesian, which is amazing.
Yeah, because back home, for Indonesian, social media is a very, very big thing.
So,
And if you.
is it, sorry,
Mhm.
is it just, is there a particular liking that Indonesians have towards Instagram, or is it just all social media, including like Facebook?
Instagram.
Okay.
We don't really use Facebook as much. I upgraded my Facebook. I updated all of my pictures and all of my status, like profile pictures, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Once I arrived here, because
Okay, so then you realize that
yeah.
okay, Facebook is
Yeah,
more.
because I realized here Facebook is a big thing. Like once you meet
Yeah.
people, you're like, oh, what's your Facebook? Oh, okay, it's
Ah.
a big thing. We use Instagram, we use Twitter. Sometimes we used to use Path. I don't know whether you know that or not.
No, no, no.
It's called Path. It's
Okay.
now closing down because no one uses it anymore. So that's like hype, and then it's gone.
Okay.
Twitter is coming back. Snapchat, we used it for like a year or two,
And then
then
Instagram
now.
has stories.
Yep, and then Instagram has stories, so no one bother about Snapchat anymore. And yeah, I think those are like the most.
Okay, so what you're saying is that social media is important because, especially for you, because you're in communications where PR and branding are things that you tend to are things that you want to dive in on a professional level, and it makes sense for you to have that importance for social media.
Mm-hmm.
However, do you like social media?
A lot. Can you not see me?
No, I know it's important, but I'm saying, do you like it?
I like it. I
Do you
truly
think it's
like
a good
it.
thing?
It's a good thing. There are some bad thing about it.
Yeah.
Makes me overthink a lot
Yeah,
every time I
uh-huh.
want to post stuff,
Uh-huh.
because it's like sometimes I feel like, oh no, everyone has posted everything about it and I haven't, because I need to match the colors.
Yes.
And plan what time do I need to post.
Yes.
Like make the caption if I really want to think about it.
Yeah.
But again, sometimes it makes me overthink and it's overwhelming in a way.
Yeah.
And like right now sometimes I scroll through like a timeline,
Yes.
like to see other people's posts.
Yes.
But sometimes, like as I grow up, I just don't have time for it.
Yeah.
So sometimes I just look to stories.
Yeah.
I don't really go to posts.
So I on a very simple level, I have a lot of disagreements with social media, which is okay.
Okay,
If I was
that's
beautiful,
fine.
I would also be on social media all the time. Okay, so. But let's just say I have some friendly disagreements with the entire social media thing.
Yeah.
I'm a
Like
hypocrite.
what?
It has a lot of psychological effects on us, which I'm not very happy. But I'm also a hypocrite because this thing that we're doing right now is going to be on social media. So, but yeah. So a lot of times I'm really angry about social media. But then again, I sometimes think about, like when it comes to your Instagram, I just think about, before social media, people used to scrapbook, and people were really passionate about matching colors and what to put where and writing things in a scrapbook. And I'm like, hey, that's not that different. So
Okay.
that's how I kind of like pacify myself.
Okay. I think my passion towards social media came. It's just because I'm a creative person. I'm gonna say that because since I'm like a little young, tiny kid,
Yeah.
I love scrapbooking.
There
Don't
we
get
go.
me wrong.
Yes.
I love scrapbooking. Every time my mom took me into like an arts and crafts store, I'm like the happiest kid.
That's why it makes
on
sense, and
earth.
that's why it's a nice thing that
Yeah.
for you it's not any of the bad things. It's mostly the passion for creating something that's visually nice and something that you document in some ways.
And I am a very visual person.
Yeah.
I do photography, I do graphic design, I
Yep.
do video editing.
Yep.
In terms of maybe I'm just born this way. In terms of like I'm just born this way, and I got gift from God about visual stuff, about art stuff, because I now realize that it's not for everyone.
Yeah.
Like for example, someone is good at research and I'm not
Yes.
good at research. I'm good at arts.
Yes.
That's what I do.
I know why you said research.
Right?
You're basically trying to say, hey, some people like you, Marsha,
No, I
are
am
good
not
at
saying.
research,
Okay, but you
not
are.
at social.
But you are, right? You
Yeah.
are good at research, and yeah, that's why this world needs
social media.
diverse people, right? It needs a lot of people with different kind of skills. So I think that's where what I love about social, especially Instagram.
Yeah.
I mean, Facebook, I can use it more. I don't really plan much about
Yeah.
Facebook.
Because there is no kind of
like feed, like templates,
yes,
you know, like
yes.
a template of feed. Like
Yeah.
when you open something, you can just
You
scroll
can see
through.
all of them.
Yeah. But Facebook is more like per post, right?
Yeah.
On Instagram, because it's picture based,
Yeah.
it's photo based, it's very visual. I want people, like, once they open my Instagram, I want them to instantly think that, oh my god, her Instagram feed is so good. Oh my god, her Instagram feed is so colorful.
You know what we can do actually is that I'll also put a link to your Instagram in whenever I post this.
Yes.
So people can actually they can see what we're talking about.
Yes.
And it is nice.
Go for it.
It is a
it.
visual treat in the sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it fair to say that it's sort of
portfolio, basically.
Yes.
Portfolio
but also
of
like
my life.
it's also creative expression.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So people can paint, people can make videos,
People can write.
Yeah,
People can post Instagram photos just for the sake of writing captions.
Yes, because you are a good writer, right? Yeah.
Arguably.
No, yes, I'm saying that because I think you are.
Thank you.
So yeah, so I do have like a big passion in arts and creative stuff, even since back home. I have published 3 books back home.
Wait, what?
I do have 3
You're
books.
You're a book writer?
I'm a writer.
I
used to be a writer. I wrote 3 books
Hold on.
when I was in the 6th grade of elementary school. No, actually 6th to 7th. Yeah. Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah. It's in Indonesian and it's a it's a fictional book. It's a fictional.
Is it on like Amazon? Is it on
I don't know now. I don't know now.
Hold on. Like this is
So I started my parents knew since I was a little girl. I always have won this competition in like my kindergarten school, like how I won about they used to have like this competition where we kind of like we can draw stuff.
Yeah.
And then after like below of our drawings we have to like
it's
we have to like write a story based
Yes.
on what we draw.
Yes.
I always win that 3 years in a row.
Oh, hold on. I have 3 things. I have 3 remarks on this. One is that you were basically doing Instagram before Instagram.
Yep.
A picture and a text.
Yep.
Second thing is you called me a good writer for writing captions, but you have written 3 books, so what the hell? and 3, why haven't we started this podcast with you saying, hey, I've written 3 books?
Why would I want to say about that?
I don't know, maybe.
That's like a long time ago, and that is where I haven't actually found my passion yet. Now I know what I like. Now I know that I like graphic design. I like photography.
Yeah.
I like managing events.
Yes.
And I like social media.
Yeah.
So those are like the passion that I really want to focus on right now.
Yeah.
It's not that I mean, back then, I published these 3 books because my mom accidentally found all of my writing pieces on the computer.
Oh, damn your mom for publishing your books, Sekar.
And
That's her fault.
She's like, okay, do you want to publish this? Because these pieces are like so good. And I was like, no. Because I'm like a little girl and I'm like, believe me, I was usually shy back then. I'm usually an introvert back then.
Wow.
Believe me. I can't talk to people. I'm like literally shy. I always stay in the corner and just like sit down and watch people observe. That was me back then. So that is why when my mom had this idea about publishing the book, I was like, no, I don't want to be the center of attention. But look at me now. Look at me now.
Coming to like now, and the present day, where you used to be shy, now you're out, you're extrovert, you're outgoing, and you're here in Brisbane.
Yeah.
And I want to ask you how it feels to be in Brisbane, and how your experience is in Brisbane, coming from Jakarta.
Coming from Jakarta, I really like Brisbane. That's all I can say. I fell in love with Brisbane since the first time I'm here because I got to experience all of these great opportunities. So back home, I am used to do all of these activities during my study.
Yes.
So I stopped being an introvert I think when I finished, no, when the I think when I got into high school,
Okay.
I
Yeah.
stopped being an introvert
Yeah.
because
Was there a monumental event that changed
yeah.
this, or?
So there's something called student council back home.
Yes. Yes.
Do you have it?
Of course. Come on, second.
I
Student
don't
council.
know.
Yes.
Maybe you call it something different. I don't know. Anyway, so this student council thing in my school is a very very big thing.
Yeah.
And if you want to be one of the exec for the student council, you have to go on this like very
Rigorous. Yeah.
hard submission, hard application, stuff
Yes.
like that. You have to go to interviews, you have to go with physical activities, and that is like the hardest thing until now. That's the
So
hardest,
basically,
one of the hardest
student
things.
council for you is basically roadies for us.
What?
Sorry, that was a reference just for people from India who are listening.
That was like, what?
No, it's not supposed to make any sense to you.
Okay. Anyway, so my mom actually encouraged me to do that because she's like, don't just study. You need activities. This is what's gonna help you to be you.
Yeah.
Like find your own uniqueness and sell it to later. This is very important for your future career. So that's what she's trying to say. And I was like, okay, mom, I'll do it. And I know back then I was just like, I'm not gonna make it because I know that you have to be vocal to be a student council, and I'm not even close to vocal. I can't speak with people. That was me back then. Oh my god.
And now you're doing a podcast.
I know. And sorry to hear that. So yeah, anyway, I applied for it eventually. And I just thought that, okay, I'll just try my best. And I remember there were 3-day trainings that we have to go. We have to stay at this like this place which is like far away from the city.
Okay.
And yeah, so it's kind of like a training.
It's like a short-term boarding school camp.
Camp.
Yeah.
Kind of like that. And it's a very hard training. And I remembered the only prayers that I actually said was, I hope I don't die here.
Oh,
because it's damn hard and I'm so scared.
Wow.
Yeah, and that was like it is still the hardest thing I've ever done until now.
Don't you think in a sense that this is the rigorous training for student council was actually preparing you for Brisbane, because that's essentially what it is, to go in a camp which is basically a different part of the world.
That was actually, I think, one of the scariest moment, but then it prepared me to other things.
Yes.
So from there, I started to learn that, hey, I can do this. And because now I'm kind of like one of the exclusive member of the student council, it gave me a platform and a chance for me to actually put all of my ideas and just work on that. Yeah, so after that, I've been doing a lot of other stuff like public speaking.
Yeah.
Sometimes I always got good grades in presentation.
Plus, you spoke at a HAS event, right, recently?
Yeah, I did.
Yes.
On orientation week,
Yes.
I was the international student speaker.
Yes.
For HAS orientation day. So that was actually one of the big steps for me too. I used to do public speaking. I used to do presentation back home.
Yep.
With my own language.
Yeah.
With Indonesian audience.
Yep.
It is so different when it comes to speaking with English, which is not my first language.
Yeah.
And the audience are like multicultural. Like from, I don't know, Europe, Asia, just everything.
Yeah. So
it's very different, and I think I might just messed up a little bit. Might have. Maybe I froze for like a minute or two, but that's fine, cause you just need to, actually do it. I took a night to think about it, whether I'm gonna say yes or no to my supervisor.
So, sorry. Mm-hmm. Speaking about saying yes or no, and freezing in the moment, love.
Yeah.
So, relationships.
Oh my god.
Okay. If you want to talk about them.
Sure.
Sure, okay.
I don't know whether I have something to talk about.
No, I mean, I don't know. Just let's...
ask something. I can't just talk about relationships.
No, I know. I was just like introducing the topic. I was wondering if you are like...
Takut. Oh, takut means scared in Indonesian, guys.
I was just like trying to introduce the thing, see if it's okay if we can talk.
Go for it.
So yeah, what is your...
I swear to God, Mom, if you hear this, I swear to God, this is Marshad's idea.
Listen, even my mom isn't listening, so your mom is a stretch.
Okay, because
Yeah.
I'm gonna post this on my Facebook and on my social media, so I'm pretty sure my mom would probably hear about this. Okay.
Okay, Saker's mom, hi. It's kind of my idea, sorry.
Yeah.
Stop listening at this point. Saker's mom. It's probably best for everyone.
Okay, go for it.
Yeah. So what's your idea of a relationship? Where are you in a relationship? Were you in a relationship? And what are your thoughts about them?
Relationship.
Yeah, just casual relationships.
I'm not gonna say that I'm in any kind. Referring to romantic relationships, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Referring to that, I can say that I am probably not in any kind of romantic relationships right now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
but
what do you think of them, or how? What has your what are your experiences? Any like you heard Jazz podcast?
Yeah.
Do you have any?
I have a lot, a lot of past relationships.
Yeah.
In terms of romantic relationships, but I think one thing that now I can say that I'm single now. Why am I keeping myself single right now? It's because I want myself to be stable and ready for a
That is
relationship.
That's a very fair reason to be single.
Yeah,
Yes.
right? So because based on my past experiences, all of my exes, I am sorry exes if you hear this.
Don't name them, obviously.
No, I'm not gonna name them. Oh my god.
Unless you want to.
No.
Okay.
No. I have too many. Exes, I'm sorry if you're listening to this, but all of my exes, I don't feel that they are competent with what I'm doing right now.
Oof.
Might hurt, but again, I want someone who is way more than I am. So I want a partner who I can look to. Like
Okay.
I want him to be my inspiration. And so I feel that in being a relationship, based on my past experience, they are the people that always follows me. I don't want a partner who follows me. In terms of, I can give you an example.
I mean, in a sense, what you're saying is that you want someone who you look up to, in the sense that you want someone who inspires you constantly.
Yes. And for example, I'm not gonna say last, one of my exes.
Let's call him X.
Yeah. Okay, so X, he's a person that is always there for me. He was always there for me when I had my internship back home.
Sounds like a nice guy.
Yeah, he's a very, I'm not saying he's a bad guy. He's a very, very, very nice guy.
Yeah.
And when I did my internship back home, he every day, like literally every day, he always picked me up.
Yeah.
And everywhere I want to go, he's always, okay, I can drive you there.
That's
I can
nice.
accompany you. What do you want to eat? I can get you. What do you want to watch? I can pay it for you. What do you want for your birthday party, like birthday surprise? What do you want, a birthday gift? And I was like, he's like the nicest person I know.
Yeah.
Literally, in terms of, he always put me first. He always put me in his priority.
Yeah.
But then again, that's not what I'm looking for as a partner.
Okay. So
that's a good thing.
What are you looking for? Because it seems that X was a nice guy, but he wasn't something that you were looking for at that point?
Yes, because X would put, I'm just gonna say, my X's world is me.
Okay.
I don't want that. Okay. You should have your own world.
That's
You should have your own
At
dream.
first it seemed very counterintuitive, but when you said he should have his own world, then it makes sense.
It makes sense, right?
Yes.
And he always put me first, which is not bad.
Yeah.
Right? But again, because of that, everything comes back to me. Like every time I ask, okay, what do you have any life plan? What are you planning to do like a year or 2 years after this?
Okay.
What do you want to do? What do you want to be?
So you were the life plan.
Yeah. What do you want to be? And he's like, I don't know. I'll just go with the flow. As I don't really care what I want to do or what I want to be. I'm just gonna go with the flow.
That sounds a lot like this person I know. Me.
No, I'm not
No,
talking
no.
about
I'm
you.
just saying that.
Okay.
I get it. Yes.
Okay, it's just kind of like, what do you want to? I don't. This is what his response was. I don't know actually what I want to do. Well, that's fine because I don't know what I want to do. I don't know what I want to be. That's fine. But do you have strategies to go there?
Yeah.
Like for me, I am gonna take all of opportunities I have. I know my end goal.
Yeah.
I just don't know when I'm gonna reach that end goal.
Yeah.
But I know every time I have to do public speaking, I will talk about my leadership. Every time I do event management, I will make it as creative as possible and giving a big impact to people.
Yeah.
I know those strategies and I know what I'm approaching to. Even though I have this end goal, it's like somewhere in the future. I have no idea when.
Yeah.
But again, his response was, I don't know what I want to be. I don't know what I want to do. Well, that's fine. Do you know how are you going to, all of those strategies are you going to take? And he's like, no, I don't really care about that. It's just, I don't really care about that stuff. What matters most is just, I'm just going to be with you. Dude,
So,
I can't do that. It's just like,
essentially, because you yourself are such an independent and driven, motivated person, you
I want
also
my partner
want
to be like
Oh
that.
yeah.
I want my partner to be like that. I want
Equally
someone,
motivated and equally
equally ambitious, equally self-driven, equally have this big dream
with his own independent life.
Yes, I don't care whether they plan stuffs or not. I don't care.
You don't want them to be exactly like you, as long as they A, inspire you, and B, have an independent, self-motivated life.
Motivation and ambition, that is what I'm trying to...
That is very fair.
Because I want them to just not look back at me like every time, oh, okay, I'm gonna meet my friends, but if you want me to pick you up, then I can pick you up. No, if you have your life with your friends, go with your friends. I don't care. I don't want him to put all priorities on me, because that's gonna... I'm in the same time I'm making him to stop developing himself.
Also, it's unhealthy.
It's a toxic.
Yeah.
Right? I don't want that. That's why so far I haven't actually found...
He knows this, right? Because I don't want this podcast to be...
We broke up because of this.
Okay.
I told him that I'm sorry, I love you, but you are a very nice person.
The ways to break up, the second worst way is texting. Worst way is a podcast.
No, he knows about this. So once we broke up, I told everything to him that I love you and I know you're a very nice person. You're a very great person in terms of putting me first.
Yes.
But again, I can't be in this relationship because I feel that you are not leading me anywhere.
I'm just gonna say I really like healthy, mutual, understandable, non-toxic breakups.
And again, he's the guy. He should be leading me.
Okay, that's kind of,
well,
the guy leading. That's
in a way of Asian culture.
Yeah, I mean, still.
I'm not saying that should be, but again, from my family's perspective, of course they want someone who's like that, because they want someone that is gonna lead me in some way. Because again, even though my mom works, my dad works, they're all like independent, and I'm not saying that my dad leads my mom in a way. He leads the family. It's not like he's telling my mom what to do. My mom follows him. My mom is not like that.
Your mom is a badass. She published your books. She made you go through student council. I think the entire thing about I'm going towards the closing notes, is that the entire lesson of the podcast is your mom is awesome.
My mom is awesome.
Yeah, she single-handedly changed your life, to be fair. 2, moms in general are awesome.
Yeah. And I think the idea of a partner, a soulmate, for me is because I look up to my dad a lot.
Yeah.
My dad is a very motivational person.
Yeah.
Again, he's like now the one of the greatest person that I know, one of the most successful person that I know. And looking back to his child life, he has nothing, literally nothing. He told me once that he was his life was so much in a struggle. Once he had a meal just with a small portion of rice with salt. That was how bad life was back then. And that was not a lie, because I saw some pictures, like how he used to walk to school when he was, because his school is just like 5-10 minutes away walking.
Yeah.
He didn't wear shoes because he broke his shoes, and
Yeah.
my grandma doesn't have money to buy new
Yeah.
ones. So that is how life was very bad back then.
Yeah.
But now he's one of the, I'm here.
Yes.
Shows that he's one of the most successful people that I know. So again, looking back at my dad,
Yeah.
I always look up at my dad when I'm choosing someone, because I don't want them to not be as good as my dad.
Yeah.
My dad is like my criteria now.
Yeah.
And it's, I mean, fair enough, it's hard to be like that. I'm not saying that I want someone who's like literally successful right now, because I'm not even successful yet.
Yeah.
I might be in 10-20 years.
You
I don't know.
you are successful in what you're doing currently.
Right now.
Which is
I
it's
can
good
say
enough.
that,
Yes.
yes. But again, I'm not trying to, it's not like I'm, so sometimes when I say this, people think that, oh, okay, so you want to find a partner that's rich already. No, that is not my point. They can be as struggling as they could. I don't know. Like, maybe they could be struggling with money, struggling with everything, but once I know that they have this kind of like ambitious and motivation,
Yeah.
and I know that they have a big dream in, like, I don't know, being a successful person in terms of anything, name
Yeah.
any successful, maybe rich, maybe money, maybe happiness, maybe family, I don't know, anything. But if he has the same kind of like level of ambitions and self-motivation as I am,
Yeah.
and I know that he can dream big and always put a good effort, like an amount of effort to reach that end goal of his own,
Yeah.
then I'll be there to support him. I'll be there to be a supporting system.
Yeah.
So it's not that I'm not looking for money. I'm not looking for time. It's not like you have to invest all of your time for me, buying me expensive stuff. Okay, I'll take that, but I'll take that, but that's not the point.
Yeah.
The point is that I have to be able to see whether you can reach your end goal, as what I'm doing now. I have to be able to see your motivation. I have to be able to see, you have to be able to inspire me.
And have you found anyone like that?
I don't know.
Okay, that's I will take that answer. I will happily take that answer.
Maybe yes.
Maybe yes is better.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know. Let's see.
Cool. This is a very insightful conversation.
Thank you.
One of the what I really realized at the end was that, and this is a very silly thought, but the ex that you mentioned is the kind of person that we were all looking, or most of the people were looking for when we were like young. You know, that is the idea we had. And the idea that you paint right now is also an idea that I relate to now. I had a really nice conversation.
Thank you.
And this
I
was
had
fun.
a really nice conversation too.
Yes, and it was really insightful. And thanks for being on here.
Thanks for having me.
And if you like this podcast, and if you're watching it on whatever you are, feel free to subscribe.
I've been talking for an hour.
Yes, that is accurate.
Okay.
So yeah, subscribe for more people talking for more time than this. Yes.
Okay.
And see y'all.
See you.